Hey, it's me, Mary Arnold. So I wanted to talk about problems with your dentures you may be having. This is my second reline. Now, if you haven't seen me before, I've gotten my dentures, the upper, April the 6th of 2021. So this second soft reline that I've had. And at first thought it was a soft reline, kind of not level, causing my dentures to pop out, or bone loss, or gums, decreasing in swelling, stuff like that. Kind of worked through all those problems, and I'm still having the same problem with popping, which is one side popping loose. And come to find out, it's one of my tooth that is actually hitting the bottom tooth when I just barely slide my teeth over. Like if I'm chewing and my bottom jaw kind of moves over to the left or the right a little bit, it hits that tooth, causing it to pop loose. And now I am using a very strong powder adhesive, which should not do that. I've just gotten the soft reline, which should not do that. So if you're having that same experience, and like I said, I got adhesive in, so it's not really like popping loose at the moment, but it's still loose. And I don't know, it is what it is. So if you're having that same experience, what you got to do is notify your dentist and ask them. It's not a slider bite. They'll automatically assume it's a slider bite. It's not a slider bite. It is just this tooth is just a little too long. When it meets the bite, is perfect. But if it is slid over just a smidge, then it's not meeting your bite, and it's actually causing it to pop loose. It kind of feels like if you hit that certain button, your dentures will pop loose, So doing that, you need to shave it. They need to shave it. And it's just a minor thing. So if that's something that you're experiencing, suggest to them, hey, look at this tooth. Try to figure out which one it is. Figure out which way your jaw is moving, right or left. Is it your right side? Is it this tooth hitting this tooth? Is it this tooth hitting that tooth? This tooth hitting that tooth? That's causing it to happen. So once you pinpoint which one it is, and you really, really, practice doing it, just to make sure you're not misjudging something else. But if you know that if you do this, and I'm not talking about like a major move, I'm talking about just a little move. If it does that and it's moving titter-tot, like this, then you need to pinpoint which one it is and have them shave, readjust, or replace that one tooth that's hitting your other tooth, and that will solve that problem. In the meantime, until you can see your dentist, what you can do is use C-Bond as a paper adhesive, and you can fill in a little bit more on the side that pops loose. So if this side is the one, if you hit this tooth and this side pops loose, put a little bit of that C-Bond or a little extra adhesive on this side, so that when you do accidentally hit it that way, it's not going to just pop off. It's got that little extra security, okay? And so depending on which dentures or which company you got your dentures at, is if you have to have it sent off and then fix it, or if they fix it at the dentist office itself, so ask questions, stuff like that. At first we thought it was a slider bite, which means that everything just kind of went AWOL. But then as we started doing the new reline, and it has such good suction, And then I got to talking to the dentist assistant, and I was talking, and then all of a sudden, that tooth hit that tooth, and it went boop, boop, right out of my mouth. And he was like, I've never seen that. What? He said, do it again. So I was like, I don't know how I'm doing it. I said, all I can do is start talking, and then all of a sudden, it just goes boop. And then I started looking at myself in the camera. And when I was doing that, I noticed that certain words, I don't know, moved my jaw a little bit over, just a hair. And when I do that, I don't know, it's kind of like a rotating jaw. But when I do that, it hits that tooth. See, perfect bite, you'll see no gap. But when I just talk, see how I talk? Now you see the bite is completely off. Now, when you do that, that's usually a slighter bite. But if it wasn't for that one tooth, it would still match up. Most dentures will match up even if you move your jaw. You know, it don't have such a big gap. It's crazy. So that's one thing that you can look at. The other thing is, if you can go cheese and you have no gaps and it looks normal, feels great, the bite feels good, practice talking. Open your mouth, open your jaws, make sure that your teeth land exactly on that bite. Cheese, 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 cheese. So that your jaws and your dentures match up and they don't have that gap, and that will reduce the popping off stage when you're talking. So you don't want to be sitting there talking to your man or a client or something, and all of a sudden your teeth slings out of your mouth, you know. You don't want that. Or you know, it pops out and you have to readjust. You have to go to the bathroom. You have to put more adhesive on, blah, blah, blah. We all don't like adhesive anyway. And you shouldn't really need adhesive if you have the right lining, the right hard reline or soft reline. You shouldn't really need a lot of adhesive anyway. But just make sure that your teeth line up. They feel comfortable. You look great. All that good stuff. Practice on talking. Try not to move side to side. But if you do, and it's not a whole lot, and you can correct it, do the best that you can while you still have the option of getting those relines, okay? Usually, you only get 4 relines within a year. Take advantage of that, but don't do it too soon. You want to do it, you know, spaced out as much as possible, because at the end of the year is when it really matters the most. So during the whole year, the first year of your dentures, you want to take notes. If I move my jaw this way, it does this every single time. How far do you move your jaw when it does it? If it's a whole lot, then it's just your slider bite, which is easy to fix. If it is just a little bit, just a normal smile can pop your dentures off. Start looking at to what tooth is hitting what tooth, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to have your dentist shave or replace one of those teeth that's actually hitting and making it cause that leverage. Okay. Another thing is, of course, you know, we're going to have the bone loss, we're going to have the shrinkage, and if it's just really loose all the way around, that is just your bone loss, and a simple reline should fix that problem. But in the meantime, while you're waiting, use Sebon, use powder, stuff like that. Also remember to keep your dentures in as long as you can, every day. If you don't, you're never going to get used to it. You're never going to fix your problems. You're not going to know what your problems truly are. You're going to be thinking, well, it's just loose. It's not going to fit. I hate the way they feel. I hate eating in them. It's embarrassing. Well, you got to remember why you got your dentures in the first place. You wanted to eat. You wanted to look better. You wanted to feel better. Right? everything comes as an adjustment. I mean, everything. You know, you get your hair cut, it's an adjustment. You gotta get used to it. You get pierced ears, you gotta get used to it. Everything comes with a cost. Okay? But the longer you wear it, force yourself to wear them at least 12 hours a day. At least. Okay? Try not to play with them as much. A lot of the beginning of my journey, I thought I was playing with them too much. Stuff like that. But doing that, I learned what the real problem was, and I have an extended tooth that needs to be fixed. But we're going to wait towards the end of the year just to make sure I can't correct talking, or I know if I do it this way it's going to pop off. Let's see if I can train myself not to do that. Stop playing with that. And if there's no other way that I can do it, it's just the way my jaw is, just the way my bite lines up. And no matter what I do, it's always going to pop loose if I'm talking and I hit that spot. Then that spot needs to be fixed, okay? So during the journey, I've learned that there's a lot of stuff I can eat perfectly fine. Peanuts, chewy steak, stuff like that. I've even learned how to manage the bread. Bread was my major issue. It would always get stuck on the palate, stuff like that. Since then, I've learned, drink a little bit of water with it, or not take big bites, stuff like that. You'll learn as you go. So don't be discouraged. You'll learn as you go. But just kind of remember there's a lot of different reasons why your dentures might not fit. Okay? And it's not, oh, well, they're just made them wrong. A lot of times it's something simple. And just don't get frustrated with it. Don't give up. Don't say, okay, I just don't like them. It's too much of a hassle. I thought it was going to be easier. I thought that, it was just going to be done and over with in a blink of an eye. Well, it's not. It's going to be a journey for a long time. Okay, a long time. And you just got to roll with it, okay? Just roll with it. Don't give up. Force yourself to wear them. That's one of the hardest things that I have, because I'm here most of the time by myself. I don't care if I go around without my dentures. It doesn't bother me a bit. I do not care. But when I do care, I put them in and they still feel like a foreign object. They still feel weird because I was spacing it out so much. Instead of wearing them for 12 hours, I wasn't wearing them for 12 hours on certain days. And then I'd put them back in. Then I would notice more. They're uncomfortable. They're not fitting right, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's because I wasn't getting used to them. I didn't allow myself to have that kind of time. At the beginning, I did, but then when my gums started really healing, I didn't. So just kind of, you still have the sore spots until all of it heals up. You'll have that rubbing until you get your dentures hard relined or permanent dentures. So you're going to have to work through that. Main thing is, do not suffer and don't give up, okay? Learn what you're doing to pop them out. Try to fix that. And I'm not talking about try to fix it in a day or two. I'm talking about try a couple months. If it doesn't work, if you have really tried, not just say you tried but didn't really try, but if you have done everything you can and you're still having problems, go to your dentist and say, look, I know you're very busy. You just want me in and out. I understand that. Trust me, I do. But we have an issue. This is really not working for me, and I cannot do my daily activities knowing that my dentures are going to fly across the room. We have got to fix this. Soft relines are not working. Adhesive is not working. Something else has got to go. We got to figure this out. So they'll give you the slider bite. If that is not the problem, then suggest, well, help me find the problem. This is how I smile. This is my normal bite. It matches up perfectly. But if I move just a smidge, It doesn't. And this tooth hits this tooth, or this tooth hits this tooth, and the whole denture pops out. So are there a way we can fix that problem? They'll say, try talking different. Practice talking so that you don't hit that spot. Well, I did. I tried. Make a log. I did it 3 times a day. But it's just the way my jaw moves. It's just the way I talk. It's just the way it's hitting it. There's nothing I can do to prevent it. I need it fixed. Let them know that you are aware of the problem, if there is a problem. And no matter what problem it is, you're aware of it. You try to fix it on your own. See what they suggest to fix the problem. Try that for a week or two. If that does not, go back and you got to fix this. And they will. They will. Most of them will. They love you. They're going to take care of you. They want you happy. They want you to have a good experience so that they can use you as word of mouth advertising. If you're happy, you're going to tell your friends. Go here. They were really great. They were really sensitive to my needs. They listened to me. They fixed my problems. And then you are more educated that you can help your friends out that ends up getting dentures, and you can help them with suggestions too. But the main thing is open communication. Don't just suffer. Don't go through a couple months and think, well, if it's been a couple months, it should be over with. No. It might take a year, it might take 2 years. All right? Practice talking, walking around, eating small things, work your way up to bigger things, learn what you can do, how much. Like if you're eating a cheeseburger, you might have to take smaller €2 bites versus a teenager bite. So just kind of work with it slowly. It will get better. Main thing is keep them in. Keep them in. If they're so loose, go to your dentist office. Have them do the soft reline if that's what they need to do. If they're painful, go to your dentist and see what you can do. Try to work through what you can. Give it 110%. Don't just be lazy with it and just say, well, I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm just going to throw them out of my mouth. It's good to give your gums a break, but you got to remember we got dentures as teeth. You have to treat them as teeth. You have to keep them in as teeth all the time. If you had your real teeth, you can't just pop them out and say, okay, I'm done with it. You have to deal with it. We dealt with broken teeth, rotten teeth, cavities, sore tooth, open nerves. We've dealt with all that, right? We can deal with a little discomfort for a little bit until we get adjusted, until we get everything fixed and get used to it. Learn how to eat different things to prepare you when you want to go out on a date or out to dinner with your husband, wife, whatever. And that way you're already prepared. You know what you can order. You know what you can eat. You don't have to embarrass yourself. You know how much adhesive you got to use, if you got to use it. You know all that stuff by the time you go to a barbecue, by the time you go to dinner. Whatever it is, you've got to practice, practice, practice. And the only way that's going to happen is keep your dentures in. Okay? Practice keeping them in. So if you done got fed up with it and you're like, okay, I'm going to give it another chance. I'm going to try again. And you can keep them in for an hour. Maybe tomorrow you can keep them in 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Work it up. Then you start noticing, well, if I do this, this helps. If I get this fixed, this will help me. And that will allow the open communication to your dentist to fix your dentures, okay? So just remember, don't give up. Keep them in. And if you have any questions, just ask.